Thank you to the committee and staff for getting me on the agenda today. And I start by introducing our newest team member, Garrett Harvey, who's with us in the back here. Garrett is now our content and creative manager, and I'm here giving you an overview of work in Quinte now, but a couple months down the road, Garrett's giving these presentations. So first slide I just want to have up here. Says like Indeed but local, and if you've ever posted a job or been looking for a job, you probably know what Indeed is, and it's arguably the largest jobs website in the world. Literally millions upon millions of people are a part of this site, and we want to be the opposite of this website. Work in Quinte was created by Linda Lyle, Karen Post a few years ago for the very purpose of being an asset to this region, not to the rest of the world. And so until Indeed sends us a cease and desist, this is one of our taglines, like Indeed but local. The local part being there's a real person who is going to be reviewing everything that goes on this website, all those jobs. There's no spam jobs on there. There's no jobs from Maynooth on there that get scraped in for some reason. These are all Quinte region jobs for Quinte region people. So I just want to take a minute and take you through the website because we've recently updated it from what Linda and Karen and the other originators of the website created in the first place because we were finally ready to do so. So workinquinte.ca is the domain. And I just want to take you through some of the aspects of the website. So as you see, it's really targeted at job seekers and at employers. We've also got the career fairs here so we can highlight the Work in Quinte career fair. And I'm going to take you through a couple of the resources that we've got here, specifically our website user manuals. So if you're getting signed up to this website or you're telling somebody to sign up for the website, this is where I want you to point them because it helps them navigate everything. But just quickly, as you'll see, it's pretty easy to get onto. I want to take you through first how to jump on as a job seeker. So the idea as a job seeker is you got a couple of different entry points. You create an account. Very easy to just go to job seekers, create account. And as part of your account creation, you put in all your information and you upload your first resume. Now, we actually set you up with a dashboard so that under your account, you can upload different resumes. Maybe in one life, you're a cook, and in another life, you work in the healthcare sector. I don't know. You got your cook resume and your healthcare resume. You can have them both up there and manage them. The other piece that you can do is track where you're applying. So, let's say you're in transition mode or you're looking for your first job and you're applying everywhere. You can see all the jobs you've applied for and check and see if you're getting messages from those employers. And as well, there's a bit of a more passive way of doing things. You can upload your resume to what we call the resume database. So an employer can go on and search for you. And I'll talk about that in a minute. So just an easy way to put yourself out into the world. Now, similarly with employers, easy to set up an account. Just go up to the Employers tab, click Sign Up, fill out your information about your organization. Once you submit, you've got an account. You can post a job right away if you want to, but you don't have to if you don't want to. Again, there's a resume database that you can go on to and you can search if you want. So let's say you're the employer and you're looking for a cook. Well, you can go onto the resume database, type in a search term like cook, press enter, and anybody who has that keyword on their resume is going to be spit out into that search. And you can just start picking people without even putting a job posting out into the world. When you create an employer account, you got to give Garrett a little time. Okay, so we're asking you to give him up to 48 hours. He's already a busy guy, even though this is week 1 for him. But once you're approved as an employer account, and we know you're a local Quinte region employer, or you're an employer who's hiring people in the Quinte region, which we've also come across through this website, then we tell you we trust you and you can post jobs as you want. This will take you through posting a job, very easy. And then once you've posted a job, you get a dashboard. So similarly, when you're logged in as an employer, you go in, you can go to your account, okay? So employer, log in, you enter your stuff, and then it takes you to a back end. Maybe you're posting multiple jobs because you're a hiring manager. You can see all those jobs. You can, through the back end dashboard, see activity on your jobs. So you can see how many people are actually clicking your job. Maybe you're seeing some that are more popular than others. Maybe you're playing around with different titles. Different titles are getting more activity. So you can see actually the stats on each of your jobs. You can start seeing the applicants who are coming in. So we've built in what's called an applicant tracking system to the back end. So you can see all the applicants that come in. You can bookmark applicants. You can rate applicants on a star system. You can make notes about them because maybe there's something that jumps out to you from their cover letter or their application. You know, Rosie is really excellent at communicating and her customer service is top notch. Enter, made the note. And then you can also communicate with the individuals who have applied for your job, all from the back end. So you can share this with other people from your organization. You can share notes together. Go in, you can edit jobs as needed. And then also, once somebody's actually hired, you can show that the person's been hired. So we've built in a lot of functionality on this website. This is now the home also. Here we go, Linda, fall date TBD. This is now the home of the Work in Quinte Career Fair. So this is where we'll be listing all of the, we got to update the names. This is where we'll be listing all of the employers who are involved. There's resources on here for anybody about employment services. We've been working really closely with Meta Employment Services. They're one of the 3 employment service providers in this region. They use the website now as their only website for posting jobs and interacting with applicants. And we obviously are trying to point people in their direction, Career Edge's direction, and Loyalist College's direction for employment supports. We got success stories on here, and one of the things that Garrett's going to be doing in the coming weeks is working to build out more content on the site. Talk about living here, which points over to our Bay of Quinte website. And of course, we've built in a new events calendar. Anybody who's been to our bayofquinte.ca has seen our tourism events calendar. This is an events calendar specifically for employment-related events. So, you know, Suzanne or Chris or others who are putting together employment-related events, you can either upload them by yourself or send them to us and we'll get you up and running. And then lastly, I just want to point you to our newsletter. So Garrett is going to be sending out every week a newsletter from Work in Quinte with top jobs and employment tips. So if you know somebody who's looking for a job, it's a great way to stay informed. At the end of the day, the purpose of this website is, like I said, to be like Indeed, but to be local. Spam-free, real person at the other end of the info ad address or the telephone, somebody who can help you workshop issues you're having. A fully functional applicant tracking system, free of charge for our Quinte region employers to use if they need it. Marketing and awareness of your jobs. So if you have a full-on applicant tracking system already and an HR department, you don't need that, but you might need additional marketing and awareness of your jobs that Garrett will be putting out on our Facebook, on our Instagram, through the newsletter, through our paid ads that we do on a weekly basis. And then a tool for job seekers. So people who are living in this region trying to find jobs. We're posting a wide variety of jobs, but all that are, you know, local, are strong, are good opportunities, and the resume database, which provides individuals an opportunity to get found without even applying for anything. Anyway, I want to say thanks for the opportunity to share this tool. If there's any other groups out there, anybody feels we should be sharing this with, please let me know. Happy to do so. And if anybody's got any questions, I'm happy to take those as well.
Questions from the committee? Yes, Rosie?
Yes, through the chair to Doug. So assuming you said Meta's putting all their jobs on, so there's no more salary cap on who can post on the site?
Yeah, so through the chair to Rosie, that's a great question. So you're going back in time. And we used to manage a job called QuinteJobs.ca, and it was specifically a marketing website where we only promoted higher paying jobs. This is any job, entry level, minimum wage. Again, we want to put a wide variety on there that's going to be of interest to a whole a massive subset of people who are living in the region, regardless of where they're entering the job market.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And a follow-up question, because you were talking about the fact that employers can put notes and different things like that in there, what kind of security is around this site?
Yeah, again, through the chair to Rosie, it's fully secure. So we worked with Snap 360 to build the site out. We've been working with them for over a decade. We've never had any security issues. They ensure all our security certificates are up to date. There's privacy notices and information on there as well. I'll tell you this, if you make a profile, you cannot see what's on somebody else's profile. And even ourselves as administrators, we're not sharing any of that information.
Joanna?
Is this up and operational now?
Yeah, so through the chair to Joanna, it's on there. We launched it the day of the career fair, the updated website. This website's been in existence for a little over 2 years, but the update of this website was launched on the day of the career fair, which was April 16th. We saw a great surge of activity. I was just putting a report together for our board of directors about that. There were over 4,000 visits to the site on that day, and a really great way to launch it because there were over 1,000 job seekers at the career fair.
That's great. So right now you've got a lot of activity on the website?
Yeah, a ton. So we see about 180 visits every day.
Oh.
I just ripped stats because it's been live for about 6 weeks. And so I believe we've had 7,600 unique visitors to the site. I can't remember the amount of other data because I don't have it off the top of my
I think
head,
it's
but-
I think it's fantastic, and this is the first time I've heard about it. So where are you marketing it? Are you happy with getting the word out now? Are you planning to do
Yeah,
extra?
so sorry, through the chair to you, Joanna, we kind of staged the marketing. When we first launched the website, it's what we call a soft launch. Sometimes there's bugs on there, you don't really know. And so we didn't really come out hard and fast and tell everybody about it. Then when the career fair hit, we did because we knew we had sorted through all of that. So now we're doing weekly ads through our Meta Business backend. We're also doing ad buys through local media. And so we're concentrating right now really on the Quinte region. And a phase 2 will be to actually build out on what Rosie was talking about and create a section on the page that does have higher paying jobs in an effort to market the region as a resident attraction tool. So we'll take that marketing further afoot than just the Bay Quinte region.
Can you can you connect our website to the Indeed website, the larger one, as a subcomponent, or is it something?
Well, so through the chair to Joanna, again, the whole point here is to not be Indeed. We don't want it to be too noisy. But I'll say
Okay.
this. Right now, we're taking in jobs based on 2 intakes. One, you can be an employer, you register for the site, and you put your jobs on there. But because we started from scratch with employers when we redid the site, we don't have as many employers on there right now. So Garrett actually farms for jobs as well. So he does find some on sites like Indeed. So when you're on workinquinte.ca and you see that job, if you click apply, it does take you through to LinkedIn or Indeed where the job originates. So in some respects, yeah, we're going there. Do we want to market on Indeed? That's something that we might consider. But at the end of the day, when it comes to digital marketing, you always want to do what's called keeping your cost per click down, okay? So every time somebody clicks and sees your ad, or your cost per impression, every time somebody sees your ad, costs you money. If we are marketing on Indeed, it's less targeted because individuals who are on Indeed aren't necessarily living in the Quinte region. If we're marketing on Quinte region websites, like say Quinte News or In Quinte, it's a much stronger chance that those individuals are living in this region. Therefore, there's a much stronger chance that we're getting better value for our dollar, which is coming from our partners like the City of Quinte West. So as the person who manages the marketing, right now, my feeling is to keep it off of those websites where we don't know who those individuals are and where they live, and focus them more on the ones where we know we're going to get better bang for our buck.
Yeah, I think it's a great idea. Really good.
Mr. Mayor?
Yeah, just, I know, Doug,
You need a job, sir?
let's, to you, Mr. Chair, let's say I'm looking for the farmer's market. Would I find that on your website? Any kind of promotion as to what's happening at the farmer's market?
Well, through the chair to the mayor, I mean, we have a whole other website where we do that, right? I already gave my report on that one last week.
Yes,
No,
okay.
so what we'll be doing, Mayor Harrison, is work in Quinte is really focused on the job sector. There's a little bit in there, like I jumped onto, that talks about living here. When we point people to the living here aspect, takes them to bayofquinte.ca, and they can start to find things like what you're talking about with respect to the farmer's market. And you'll be happy to know we're creating a brand new farmer's market page right now.
Good. And Loyalist Road is a very wealthy road, especially with the green tractors and the orange and the red. Yeah, so I hope we're, and that's Quinte West. I mean, that's a great part. I mean, unfortunately, we sold part of Bell Boulevard, but that's our mistake.
Don't I know it, though? I live on Hamilton Road, so every time I pull onto Hamilton from Walbridge Loyalist, or I'm driving down the right side of the road heading south, I feel good like I'm in Quinte West.
Keep on helping those farmers whenever you can.
You bet.
Thank you.
Oh, thanks, Mr. Chair. Do you have a tool for resume writing? Because you're saying it's all types of jobs. So there's people, they want to know how to write a resume, for example.
Yeah.
Would that be?
Through the chair to Councillor Armstrong, that's where the partnership with Meta Employment Services comes. That is their expertise. We don't really touch that. We touch the marketing piece. So somebody contacts us about those sorts of employment tools, boom, they're right over to Meta. Yeah.
I don't see any other questions. Oh, Rosie, go ahead.
Just because I'm curious, I'm looking at the site, and 11 jobs in the last 4 hours have been posted. 2 of them in the last 2 hours are well-paying manufacturing jobs. Are they people that are actually uploading them themselves? Or, I mean, obviously, he's
through the
sitting
chair
here, so
to
he's not
Rosie,
uploading
It's a
them.
mix right now. Yeah.
Okay.
But I mean, we've been working pretty hard to get it out there to local employers. So
Yeah.
hopefully they're getting on there. I mean, as you know, with anything new that takes a little bit of learning, it takes
Yeah.
time. But and I also wanted to mention one thing too that I was thinking about while Joanna was asking her questions about something you said earlier. Often people are looking for a job. They don't want people to know they're looking for a job. So you can post your resumes and click a box so that they don't go on the public-facing resume database for any employer to see. Just a little tidbit. Yeah.
All right, thanks, Doug.
Okay, thanks so much.
Thank you. Do you know if our wayfinding presentation is ready? Okay.
Mr. Chair, just one comment.
Yes, go ahead, Shelley.
Just the city, actually, one of our positions that we have posted is up on that site right now. So even we're using it.
Okay. Yeah. Stasia? Right.
Hello, Stacia.
How are you?
This is
Yeah, Stacia, sorry, how are you?
Fine, thank you. Hello, everyone. This is Stacia Stemsky here from Plural. Sorry for the glitch there at the beginning. Apparently, I didn't have the correct Zoom up. It's been a while since we've used Zoom. So here we are. Today I have our tourism wayfinding strategy update to present to you. I will share my screen. Hopefully, see. See what else do I need here? That there. Can everybody see that? Hello?
We can see, thank
everyone
you.
see and hear what I have here?
Yes.
Okay, great. Thank you. Okay. All right. So let's see, where's my page flipper here? Okay. Off we go. So we have our team together here. A little bit about Plural, a little bit about our group that have put together this project. Plural is a small landscape architecture planning company. We've been doing interdisciplinary projects across rural Southern Ontario for the last 20 years or so, much of which has included a fair bit of wayfinding. We've been doing the wayfinding for about the last 20 years, and wayfinding for municipalities, for tourism groups. Most of our municipalities or places that we work in are largely destination places that have a fair bit of tourism activity. So here we're just showing you a little bit, a gateway sign here in Lambton Shores. And then we have a directional sign in the town of Hanover. So what is wayfinding? Wayfinding is really about how one finds their way through the built and natural environment. It isn't just signs. Signs are a component of wayfinding, of course, but it really is a larger system, an integrated system. It's a process of organizing information to help users find their way in the environment. Sign design, therefore, is an important part, but not only the only part of wayfinding. Signs help us direct one to where they are going, but it is also supported by other systems in terms of land, things in the landscape that you might be familiar with, maps, kiosks, identification signs, gateways and such. So there is a much larger system involved. What we're showing here is just a demonstration of a map for a small community. Red Rock, actually, this one is, which has a small marina and different places for signs, different places that are highlighted that one might go to, different destinations. So project goals. These are the goals for putting together this wayfinding strategy. So the first one, increase the economic impact of tourism within Quinte West by promoting an awareness of attractions, assets, and experiences through the city of Quinte West. So we're really trying to encourage the economic impact of tourism. Awareness of attractions, so allowing people or informing people of the great assets that Quinte West has. Second goal, provide a logical, intuitive, and easy-to-use system of navigating to and discovering destinations and attractions within and between the communities of Quinte West. The third one, enhance Quinte West's standing as a tourist destination by helping to increase traffic to business and tourism assets by showcasing the unique and differentiating factors of Quinte West as a visitor destination. Fourth goal is to use creative and innovative wayfinding assets to engage visitors and residents in exploring and discovering Quinte West. The project is essentially 3 phases. We are maybe a little bit more than halfway through the project, in the middle of phase 2. Our first phase was our foundations research. The foundations basically sets up the groundwork for informing all of the recommendations and design systems moving forward. So our foundations research included document review, site visit, and sign inventory. We had interest group engagement sessions. We actually had a workshop and a survey go out and did interviews as well. From that, we had needs and gaps within the system. We investigated current wayfinding trends and identified different routes and nodes within the city. So all of that collectively formed the foundation report. Phase 2 is we're moving into recommendations, sign design, and locations plans. We have recommendations set up. We will be moving towards sign design, message charts, and sign location plans. So the deliverable here are the recommendations, the actual sign designs, location plans, and we'll have further review for selecting and sign design and further details as well. We'll follow up later on with an implementation strategy. So this will include systems management, phasing and priorities, and eligibility criteria as well for accessing the system. The final deliverable, of course, will be the report in draft form that will be presented to the council, and upon approval, we'll have a final report set up. Existing conditions, we just got here a few examples of signs just to familiarize yourselves with some of the wayfinding signs within the city of Quinte West. Often when we're living in a community, we pass by these signs and maybe we don't necessarily notice them or see what perhaps their challenges are. They blend so well into the landscape, or you're so familiar, you know where you're going already, so you don't really need to pay too much attention to them. Anyway, we can see here there are some different styles, some things that maybe are challenges in terms of materials are not working well anymore. There's some fading going on. Different branding happening as well. So through the foundation report, we did develop needs and gaps that we found within the overall system. The existing gateway signage definitely was uncoordinated. Most of the gateway signs were a little different than the others, so branding was definitely inconsistent, and style generally was lacking unity from sign to sign. The destination awareness and identification, many identification signs are missing. So basically an identification sign is one, when you arrive at a destination, there needs to be a sign to say where your destination is. So some of those signs are actually missing. So that sense of arrival is lost in the overall system. Directional signage. Many rural destinations aren't actually included on the existing directional signs. Campgrounds, trailheads, even the Trent Severn locks are not identified on the system. Pedestrian-oriented directional signs and any supportive info kiosks between the marina and downtown are missing. Parking lots need some enhancement, re-identification, and signs are not really well seen in the landscape for the parking lots. Informational signage and mapping. There is a little bit of disconnect between the the discovery guide online, and directional signs and maps that are currently existing. And service and event signs need a little bit of extra support as well. So what we found moving forward, putting all of that together, we found, I think, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 different things here that need to be addressed. So a refresh of the existing system is definitely needed. Basically, the system's been accessed and added onto incrementally over a few years. And so signage has taken on some inconsistencies. There's been some overcrowding and sign clutter happening, leading to ineffective messaging. So this leads to an opportunity to improve the overall quality through more informed and intentional decision-making, creating a more positive image for the city of Quinte West, while better supporting visitors in the future. City and tourism operator collaboration was noted through our workshop and survey participants. Definitely, they are keen on new sign initiatives that recognize the important role that signs play in enhancing navigation and promoting local attractions. Definitely, the tourism operators would like to work collectively with the city in working through these different new sign efforts. Excuse me. Affordable signage program. The signs that are offered through the municipal or the TOD system, those are the highway roads signs. They are not exactly affordable to many of the smaller rural tourism destinations. And they are also almost at capacity, so there really isn't much room on those for access. So an affordable signage program would ensure accessibility for all of the potential tourism operators to use. Accessibility for existing signs, it's in two forms. The signs themselves need to be accessible by the people using them. In terms of reading them, they need to be legible, identifiable, and part of a cohesive system. The system also needs to be promoted as an affordable advertising tool for tourism promotion. Awareness and promotion. So we are suggesting that that the signs will they do promote and support local businesses and highlight unique qualities of the area as a whole. So it isn't just the businesses themselves, but it is your region, the beautiful rivers and parks, roadways, scenic roads and whatnot. So it does go beyond the local businesses. So scenic landmarks, vibrant downtown areas as well. Beyond the downtown core, it's the downtown core and businesses in the area are they as a concentrated area, it's easy to find those places that are in the downtown core. So hopefully with an expanded system, we're able to capture those businesses that are out in the rural areas as well. And then, of course, the Trent Severn Waterway definitely needs a little bit of help in terms of signage. It's one of the most iconic scenic areas, features in the area, and it connects numerous lakes and rivers, offering unique recreational opportunities as well. And you do have so many people accessing the marina and going up through that waterway from along the water, but also there are many access points off road as well. So moving forward, we have four main recommendations. Within each recommendation, there are recommendations with these four main headings. We've got sign design and content, we have system development, tourism promotion, and implementation as well. So sign design, recommendations around new signs. We need to ensure that infrastructure is visually consistent through the whole system. So that means on all sign types. So basically from the very first sign type, which would be your gateway, then your directional signs in a car, through to your parking areas. When you get out of the car into the parking lot, you might see a kiosk. The kiosk then directs you or has information to direct you into town, and then there are pedestrian signs, and then ultimately your destination. So that as a system should be visually consistent. We recommend that having flexible sign templates that could accept future City of Quinte West branding would be a good place to start to support wayfinding recognition and maintain consistent messaging. We're talking about flexibility in these sign templates so that the guidelines and the fonts and whatnot would maintain certain standards and guideline sizes and things, so that if to accept future branding that might not actually be in place just yet. The signs that are out there are not visible at night, so future signs should have reflective lettering for nighttime visibility. Destinations need to be prioritized for inclusion in the system, and use consistent naming and conventions for destinations on directional signs. What that is actually referring to, signs can only be so large for to handle so many destinations or messages on a sign, because the lettering size needs to be a certain size so that as one drives by, they can read that sign. So we would need to prioritize the destinations to understand which would be the most important destinations on the signs at the beginning of the system. And as we move into the system, we can add more or delete destinations as we move forward. That would help to eliminate some of the excessive messaging that we're unable to read up at the front of the system. Universal icons are helpful where needed to support messaging. So if we don't have the space on a sign to include a message, we can use some symbols. For instance, a washroom icon could be used, and we don't need to use the word washroom. We can just use the icon. Picnic benches are also common. Boat launches are very common. So that really does help support messaging. Limit the number of destinations appropriate to travel speeds. Again, that's important again, so that one can actually read all of the destinations on that sign as one drives by at a travel speed. As one slows down, we can pick up additional messages due to the speed. If we're walking, of course, we can actually stop and read a message board. So there are opportunities for more messages at slower speeds. So just graphically, what we're talking about here is enhancing existing signs as these existing signs are in need of repair as we move forward into the into their lifespan, and they would need upgrading. That would be a perfect opportunity in moving into upgrades. What we're looking at here is developing, this is just a concept in development, things that we would be mindful of, is maintaining some sort of an overall style that is visually consistent with the older ones. So instead of all of a sudden jumping in with a brand new sign altogether, we'd want something that blends in. So we'd like to keep that ensure that the infrastructure is visually consistent. We might consider things that are modular so that things can be moved, removed, and changed easily without disrupting the whole sign. Logos maybe are optional in themselves. Many communities don't include logos because logos do change. But we could also have a removable logo as well to support future changes. Materials need to be durable. That is one of the issues with the current signs. The posts are unfinished, untreated, and are showing wear and tear. So durable materials in the future would be appropriate. Reflective letters, of course, important. With accessible font size as well. So again, the font size is directly related to speeds. Universal symbols we would use, limiting the number of destinations, again, for the appropriate speed that road is, or that sign is on. Optional banner at the bottom for digital connectivity or a tagline. Where can one find more information moving forward? But we can see here that the original sign, downtown Trenton, Riverfront Square, Quinte Museum of Natural History. This can all be trimmed down. Perhaps the most important things we could limit down to 4 or 5 destinations. And as we get a little bit closer into downtown, then we would add more. Second recommendation, system development. Coordinating directional signage with destination promotion. So this recommendation really is about linking public destinations that are advertised in the discovery guide that are not identified on wayfinding structures, including trailheads, conservation areas, the waterway locks, boat launches, and so on and so forth. So it's important that signage is included out there in the landscape if those destinations are being promoted in the discovery guide. Private businesses as well should have access to alternative wayfinding opportunities, such as a pay-to-play signage program, as an additional feature within the system. Pedestrian-oriented wayfinding signage in downtown cores. Given that we've got such an important and busy marina, we do have a lot of people walking through town, so pedestrian-oriented signage would be a big improvement on moving people around the downtown. Most of the signage that is out there currently is focused towards vehicles. So we could really include public spaces and waterfront paths, contributing to a more comprehensive system overall. Improved parking sequence with adequate signage, with maybe unique names or names of parking lots to identify one parking lot over another, having a name at an identification name at each parking lot itself would enhance that experience as well. So downtown pedestrian wayfinding. This is in Trenton, so this is basically a schematic demonstrating this idea of that when one is at the marina, this little dashed line here would be the pedestrian route, essentially. We've suggested a bit of a loop, a couple of loops in town that one could follow. The little red dots are suggestions currently in the works for where a pedestrian sign might be. So at any decision node or where there might be a kiosk, we would have some type of signage. We would incorporate the downtown Main Street here, include loops to services that voters might be in need of, grocery stores, pharmacies, and whatnot, and then of course the restaurants, and then moving across the river over to the Centennial Park as well. So that is just a schematic identifying the direction that we'll be going in for including new signs and kiosks at the pedestrian level. This here, we have a schematic. We start off with the schematic as a demonstration for how we sign parking lots. So we have two main roadways here. We would have parking signs suggesting ahead of decision node, an intersection, which direction we need to go for that parking. And then when we're on that side road or road that the parking lot is on, we give a little heads up that we need to turn up ahead. At that turn, we have a parking lot identification sign that might have the name of the parking lot, Market parking lot, King Street parking lot, whatever might be there. After we park, we would go to the kiosk, find out a little bit more about where we are, and that kiosk would direct us in a certain direction to destinations downtown, and that's where we would pick up then the pedestrian directional system moving forward. So this would be applied to each parking lot. We might have some overlap and have doubled up parking signs, but if we would then include parking names for those, then it would be easy to then maneuver through the town into those parking lots. The third recommendation here that we have is see here, tourism promotion. Of course, that's one of the main reasons we are moving towards a tourism wayfinding system. So what we are really doing is supporting tourism in the area by supporting destinations to buy into a wayfinding system with affordable options via a pay-to-play program. So this is a similar program to the TODS program, but it would be geared a little more locally. It's a little less inhibitive, easier to access, a little more affordable. We would have to create objective eligibility criteria for a buy-in of this pay-to-play signage program. So we'll make some recommendations of what that eligibility criteria could be for this system. We would one of the recommendations would be to look to the RTO 9 for support. They often have programs that are geared towards wayfinding, not every year, but if there is an opportunity to access some of their programs, it would definitely be worthwhile. To support wayfinding arrival, encourage the use of the Community Improvement Plan program to support or to have businesses use for new identification signs. There is a signage program in the CIP for businesses to access, so they should be encouraged to use that as a 50-50 split with the municipality or the city for new ID signs. We understand there are MAT funds available that might be used to augment tourism wayfinding as well for business locations. So criteria for accessing those MAT funds would also help to sort out who might or how those funds might actually be used. Ensure destinations promoted in the Discovery Guide are adequately signed. So again, having destinations that the Discovery Guide promotes, they should also have directional signs to their destinations as well. Themed routes was something that we were investigating in our workshop to see how routes might be a way to enhance discovery within the city. I think at the end of the day, it was maybe a little bit too complicated. Maybe there were concerns with having too much signage actually out in the landscape. So to eliminate sign clutter, perhaps investigating or developing a themed route within the Discovery Guide that so it was more of a tangible thing that you could see on paper or online that would promote certain destinations, but those destinations again would require signing. Implementation, we were suggesting developing a system to collect and respond to new sign requests. So basically having a system that is contained when a new sign is to be implemented. One would access the manager of the overall program, and signs would be maintained as we would follow the guidelines for the style of the sign, and everything would be kept as a integrated, comprehensive system. Prioritize installation based on impact. So new signs going in, where the biggest impact would be felt, signs that are missing, wherever there might be a gap in the system. Maybe there are signs that are needing maintenance and whatnot. So, and then some, of course, the destinations in the pay-to-play system are those that I think the local businesses are keen to get moving on as well. Regular review, repair, replacement schedule. Signs really have a lifespan. So looking at 10 to 15 years in the ground, they start to fade. Some of the posts start to fail with snow and ice and salt damage, whatever. Repairs are definitely something that needs to happen. So regular review of signs, whether it's part of the pay-to-play system or the current system, sets up future planning so that we can incorporate new signs appropriately. Revisit destination hierarchy to prioritize messaging on signs so we can maintain visual accessibility on those higher speed routes. Again, having that hierarchy of destinations figured out ahead of time so that new messaging on newer signs is appropriate. If the destinations are prioritized, then that can definitely help with new signs. Finally, an inventory database of all of the signs, maintaining something, whether it's on a GIS system or uh, any type of inventory database would be helpful for managing the overall system. So next steps, after we finalize our recommendations, we'll move forward to a sign family where we have concepts developed, and we will review those concepts and move forward with one and produce design intent drawings that highlight sign sizes and the graphic material for those signs. Sign placement and location plans will identify where each sign should go and what messaging should happen on those signs as well. Eligibility criteria for a pay-to-play signage program. We are working on some of those now, and an implementation strategy moving forward with that in terms of phasing and priorities for what signs might be considered in sequence. So that was a lot of information, I think. Now, if anyone has any questions on where we're at here, I will try to answer them.
Yeah, okay, Joanna has a question.
Okay, so summer is here, and on your first slide, you said that the implementation will be ready spring 2025. We're in spring 2025 right now, almost in summer. So can you tell me, will this be available for our tourists this summer?
Actually, you know, that was that's supposed to be summer.
So
Sorry, that's a mistake.
okay, so will we have this summer for our tourists?
Well, we probably at this point won't have it for the summer.
Well, that's very unfortunate.
The strategy will be out, and I think we're looking at the next Economic Development Committee meeting is not until the summer. That's when we would roll out sign designs for your approval then. And then moving forward with that, it would be actually putting signs out for construction and having contracts set up will take a little bit of time as well.
Okay, Jennifer, go ahead.
Through you, Mr. Chair, to Committee Member Joanna Marsh. This is actually just the strategy component of the tourism wayfinding strategy. Further to that will come an implementation stage where we will find we still have to get this approved, then find the funding and that kind of thing to implement the actual project. So it will be a ways down the road before we can get all the tourism stakeholders on board to be able to do the pay-to-play and create what it's going to look like. So this will be a multi-year project.
Ed?
Yeah. Is there a budget established for this?
No, there is no budget currently established for this, no.
Through you, Mr. Chair, we do have a budget for this project, the strategy project. And then further to that, once we have everything completed for this, then we'll be able to identify costs and get those different components in shape so that we can then go and ask for funding or utilize our municipal accommodation tax funding or those types of avenues to be able to build out the signage program.
Because this looks like a huge project. If you're putting signs all across the Quinte West area, I mean, this is huge. I would assume there's got to be a significant budget. I mean, I know you're going to get, you've got like the Trent Golf Course, and presumably he would want some type of signage and be willing to pay for it. But then how do you designate, between Tommaso's Restaurant and Trent Golf Course and 9 golf club? I mean, this is, how would you even determine who gets what signs?
That's basically what the criteria would be for, would be to identify those ones that are of a tourism nature and identify those ones and work with those, and high level, like campgrounds, for example, or trails, as opposed to a lot of individual ones that aren't necessarily driving tourism traffic. We did do a strategy about 10 years ago, I think, 2020 or 2013, where we actually did the project of where we are right now with the green signs and the gateway signs. So this is a continuation of that as well. And it is a big project, huge project.
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Yes, go ahead.
Thank you. Yes, you're right. It is a huge project. It is a huge project, but it's one that's very important. And I'll give you 2 examples. Many signs in our city need to be improved. Yes, they do. There's no 2 ways about it. But when you drive on Dixon Drive, going east, the first sign you'll see is one by the OPP station. And that sign is, it's a good sign. Don't get me wrong, but it's not big enough. You have to slow down to read it, slow down really slow to read it, which maybe is the right speed limit. I'm not judging that, but it needs to be larger. Many years ago, when we built the new fire hall, we had money in the budget for a new sign there, electronic sign, but it didn't get done. And you'll see when you go by the fire station, you'll see, we've rented signs and so on. But that also needs to be upgraded and have an electric sign in front of that facility so that they can regularly change activities that they're promoting or that they're being involved in. And that's a great, I think, a great asset to the residents of the city of Quinte West. So, yes, what you've done today and, the work you've certainly accomplished is a good eye-opener to us. And as we do our budget moving forward, we'll have to try to put this together and share it and decide which areas we're going to focus on first and then move forward with the rest. So thank you very much, and yes, there's always work to do.
Any more questions? Don?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. In terms of the entry areas to the city, would you recommend, say, a top 5 attractions, since we're talking tourism? The home of this, and this. The Afghanistan Memorial, Air Force Museum, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And then those trails, I guess.
Absolutely.
Begin.
Right.
Because I may not be aware of all these things that are going on. If I come in this
Absolutely.
route, if I come in this route, I'm going to the museum. I come in this route, I'm guided to the arena or Centennial Park.
Yes, definitely. It would definitely, we would revisit the destinations that you have and through some review with Jennifer and her team, recommend the top priorities for visiting, and those would be the destinations that would be at the head of the system, so closer to the gateway signage, moving into the town. And then as we get closer, then we can add on signs with additional destinations as we move forward.
Zach, go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Thank you for the presentation. I just wanted to say that I thought the recommendations were great. Certainly a very in-depth report, and it I think kind of reminds me of the importance of having significant up-to-date wayfinding infrastructure. I think about all of the great tourism and other assets that we have in Quinte West that folks, locals or people from out of town may want to visit. And that can be a huge stumbling block if they're not up to date or as effective as they could be, our wayfinding assets. So I think there's a tremendous amount of great recommendations there, and I look forward to the project moving forward. I like the idea of utilizing the MAT tax funds potentially. And yeah, certainly a lot of important decisions to be made, but we have so many great attractions, popular attractions, a lot of unknown kind of small scale ones that could use more public facing, more infrastructure support there to direct more people to them. So I think it's a great report. Thank you.
Thank you. I think, Zach, just one thing to add to that. We often find, or we're often asked about, why do we need to have so much or additional wayfinding out in the rural community? Everybody who lives out in the rural communities know where they're going or whatnot, but part of the added value for local people, residents of a neighborhood, is learning a little bit more about what is around them. We have new signs up where I live, and I didn't know that the alpaca farm was around the corner from me because I never go that way. But once the sign went up, it was like, oh, okay. So you do learn more about your own place too. So it isn't just about those tourists. It's about supporting everybody in the community as well.
I agree completely. Yeah, we have so many hidden gems and such a strong small business entrepreneur base here. And you're right, there's so many hidden gems that locals can discover too. It's great, but I think maybe an often overlooked aspect is that if we don't have these wayfinding assets in place to support kind of the larger attractions and businesses, then we're not doing them a service for sure.
Okay, thank you. Not seeing any more questions. Thank you for your presentation, and we will move on to the quarterly updates, please.
All right, thank you.
Go to the first slide. Let's go to the first one. There we go. Okay. Thank you, Mr. Chair. So I'll start off. We have a bit of a tag team here in terms of the updates. So the first one being the Work in Quinte Career Fair. So that was held on April 16th at the Quinte Sports and Wellness Center in Belleville. This is a partnership that the City of Quinte West and the City of Belleville ECTEV teams partner and collaborate with to offer that career fair. There were 52 employers registered with over 1,000 jobs available, along with over 1,000 job seekers. So just many people out in our community that are looking for employment opportunities. The Bay of Quinte had a booth there promoting the Work in Quinte program. So a great way for job seekers to learn about the program, as well as the employers and industries there to know that they have an opportunity to promote jobs available through that platform. And again, Bay of Quinte Regional Marketing Organization has been managing the Work in Quinte brand and website. So they work with our team in doing that. And thank Doug, I guess he just had to leave, but for that presentation. The next piece I wanted to speak about is our community improvement plan for the industrial lands. So that project is in progress with staff working with Sierra Consulting. And we have 2 focus group sessions, which will be held on June 12th, one targeting those in the manufacturing sector and one for those in roles related to economic development and business supports. So the consultant wanted to have 2 different sessions, so they could focus on leaders in our industrial area, and then a separate meeting with some of the economic development and business support. So those will be for about an hour and a half, and they will be take place on the 12th in the morning. The invites just went out today for that. I think some of our partners may have received those, as well as some of our economic development. We're using some of the, from our industrial land strategy. We had a focus group as part of that, so we had some of the committee members that were engaged in that project, so we included them as part of the focus groups. And again, the discussion will center on key issues and needs with the industrial lands of the city, so potential CIP programs and important factors that the team must consider when developing this industrial CIP. And some of that will be related to development charges that are now in place that were exempt previously in the city of Quinte West. So they weren't built into the current program that we have now. So that presentation of a draft plan will be made to council in the coming weeks once the focus group is completed and further analysis is done through CR Consulting. Just in that visual as well, can you just go back, Emma? That is our Caring Place, which is now Venture Drive Industrial Park. So this is a serviced 52-acre site with several various size lots on that. So we're now marketing and promoting that through the city and through QEDC. So it is ready to go. So it's just a recent photo of what that site looks like. The other item is the Shop Local. So a new Shop Local logo has been developed. It is being promoted through a variety of activities. We've completed and put together a communications plan as part of that. So we have social media messaging on the city's platforms. We have electronic information boards in Trenton and Frankfurt, mobile signs. We have 2 videos and a third in production, which is taking place on May 30th. We have print messaging in the newspaper, water, and the watershed. We have City Hall signage. We have an economic development newsletter that is being promoted, community and staff newsletter, regular updates we're maintaining on the city website for any important information in terms of funding, information sessions, and any changes that will have an impact on the businesses due to the impact of tariffs. Shop Local messaging has also been shared with the DBIA and the Quinte West Chamber of Commerce. And we're also, the city is purchasing pins that we're going to be distributing to businesses that will have this, that'll be this logo, buttons, I guess I should say. So we'll be distributing those to the businesses so then they can provide those to their customers as well and really do a lot of visuals in terms of promoting Shop Local, made in Canada, which is why we have the flag as well on the logo, but Shop Local in Quinte West. And that's just one of the promotional pieces that we have developed that'll be on boards and different advertising. We will also be switching out the pictures, some focusing on more industrial type photos. So we want to have a few different varieties. Obviously, this is retail and commercial, but also to support the other sectors. And this is the Front Street Farmers Market, so that opened on May 17th, and I want to let the committee know Christina Reeve has been hired as the market clerk for the 2025 market season. So we're in very good hands with Christina Reeve in that role. There's been about 20 vendors that participate in the market over the past 2 market days, with many positive comments received from both vendors and customers. We haven't had 20 vendors to start early in the season for a number of years, or maybe that might be our largest number. So staff are also working with a few vendors who are considering operating having a farmer's market board kind of operator model that would be in place for next season. So staff, we're working with them closely through that process, how they establish themselves as a board, and working through the roles and responsibilities and how we implement the market and what requirements are part of that. The DBIA has also been involved in that with the market board that we're that they're looking to establish. So really looking forward to the season, and anyway, it's off to a really good start. And I'll just then hand the next slide over to Jennifer.
I think we've probably heard enough about the tourism wayfinding strategy this afternoon. I know it was a lot of information to take, and I thank everybody for your patience. As you know, we did engage them last fall, and going forward, we'll be working on this a little bit further and then presenting it to council, committee and council later this year. For those of you who are in council chambers today, I'm really happy that to be providing you with a discovery guide, Quinte West Discovery Guide 2025, where you'll find all kinds of great information. If you are having a staycation this summer or you have visiting friends and family, please use that guide to find out all kinds of places that you can go, events that you can participate in, probably a lot of hidden gems you didn't know exist. You always don't know your backyard as well as you think, so this is an opportunity to really dig in and find out what's there. We're really excited about this coming weekend. It's the launch of our pop-ups on Friday. So the pop-ups are opening May 30th, and they'll be open until August 31st. This weekend, with the launch, the Kinsman Carnival is also there. You might have seen the Ferris wheel on the skyline. As well, on Saturday, the Bay of Quinte Art Show will kick off the pop-ups. In June, we're going to be open Fridays to Sundays, and then in July and August, we will extend that to Thursday to Sunday. Of course, we'll be open for Canada Day as well when all the activities are happening in the park. And our hours have remained from 11 to 7 each day. We do have 6 food sheds this year with some great ethnic food and some favorites, as well as 2 rotating retail sheds that will be on a 2-week rotation. So we'll have lots of reasons for people to keep returning to be able to see what's new there this year. Highlights also include weekly music on Saturday afternoons and many other one-off themed events. We'll be also capitalizing on events taking place in Centennial Park and seeing how we can build off those and encourage people to come over to the pop-ups while they're attending those other events as well. As you can see in the picture, and I did presented at our last meeting, but there is a new shed that's over there. This will act as the pop-up's visitor information center. Students will be stationed here during all operating hours, and will also be staffing the Chamber of Commerce as at the welcome desk for 7 days a week. Other events that the students will attend this year include Canada Day, Festival on the Bay, Quinte West Presents Medieval Festival, Plowing Match, the concert series, and the community war parties that will be held throughout the summer, and I'm sure we're going to hear more about later on in the presentation. And the Tourism Development Fund, I will be presenting a report following this presentation, but the Tourism Development Fund policy will be considered by Council at a meeting in June. The purpose of the policy is to support new and current tourism events and initiatives that will increase visitation, overnight stays, and tourism spending. It will encourage collaboration between local businesses and tourism operators and ensure the tourism sector remains innovative within the community. It will include an application, a scoring rubric, and a follow-up report that will all be part and parcel of the process that the stakeholders or businesses will have to complete. And the policy will see that application intake from probably December to February for the 2026 events that will be taking place.
Good afternoon, committee. I'll introduce myself. I'm Nick Ogden, one of the special event coordinators with the City of Quinte West. Beside me is Colleen Vickers. I'm sure those that are with the city are familiar with us. We are the loud ones in City Hall. So we're going to continue that here today. The slide you have in front of you here is just a snapshot of some of the events that Colleen and I deliver throughout the year, specifically between May and October, as well as work with our third-party event hosts throughout the city and throughout the summer to deliver within the Quinte West area. Jennifer mentioned this weekend coming up, Kinsman Carnival and the Quinte West pop-ups are exciting and happening in Centennial Park. Just a couple of note, June 7th, next weekend, is the Frankfurt Ward Party, and that'll be the first of 4 ward parties that we do. We started doing this after the 25-year amalgamation of Quinte West in 2023, and we've received really good feedback from the community that they like that we are programming each ward now. So we will be continuing that with that starting on June 7th in Frankfurt. Of note of this one too, we are just moving it from the Frankfurt Tourist Park due to the ongoing construction, and it'll be delivered out of the Dr. McMullen Arena or the Frankfurt Arena in the green space there. So we are accommodating everything happening in Frankfurt. June June 27th, we will be partnering with the Department of Immigration, Refugees, and Citizenship Canada for our third Canadian citizenship ceremony in Quinte West. And then a little further down, you'll see August 9th, and Jennifer mentioned this as well. Quinte West Presents Medieval Madness will be our second iteration of the Quinte West Presents Umbrella event, and we'll talk about that a little further.
Hi, everybody. Colleen Vickers here. Next slide, we're going to go over, we've got our concert series coming up, our 2025 summer concert series, Wednesday nights in Frankfurt and Sunday nights in Trenton. Due to the capital construction project that's going on, we've relocated our concert series and Sunday nights over to the amphitheater in Centennial Park. Both series still run 6 to 8 p.m.
And then, as I mentioned, June 7th will be the start of the Ward Party series. So the graphic that you see on the right hand of the slide is the rack card that is now in print and in rotation with our tourism students, and you can find it at various locations within the city. June 7th, we're having a teddy bear picnic. That's the new location at the Dr. McMullen Arena. June 28th, we're doing a video game and yard game festival out of Battawa Community Center. July 12th will be focused on STEM, so science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. And then August 30th will be themed around mining and building. That'll be out of the Wooler Athletic Field. That'll also be the corn roast that has become so popular for us. Yeah.
And staying in the spirit of activating each of the wards, which we've seen such success in and positive feedback, new to Quinte West this year, we're going to introduce a Paint Your Park series. So again, it will be one evening in each ward throughout the summer, and we will set up and provide paint supplies and just encourage the community to come out, show their artistic side, and have some fun.
As we mentioned, this year's Quinte West Presents theme is Medieval Madness, so the top point here is just a capture of what we did. So this year we launched a social media survey through Facebook and Instagram to engage residents and our online followers about what kind of themes for events would they like to see in Quinte West. We had 3 options available, and after just over 600 votes, Medieval Madness won with 73% of the vote, so it was a pretty overwhelming majority for that theme. As a result, we've had countless entertainers, vendors, themed activities reach out to us wanting to be a part of this, as well as provincial promotion for these style of events. So we will luckily be able to promote our event on a bit of a larger scale as well. It'll be happening on the same weekend as the Cameron Memorial Soccer Tournament, the same partnership that we had last year, and that worked out really well for families in between games and after the tournament day was over.
Next is Hops on the Water. So we've seen huge success with this event. We've built a solid reputation in the events industry, and this will be our finale, the Hops on the Water finale. So farewell after 10 years. We are going to evolve the event somewhat. Just a little sneak peek about the event. It is taking place on Saturday, September 20th for 2025, the final one. Will be a $10 flat rate at the door. And just a little sneak peek, we've already confirmed some of our returning favorites. So we've got Focal Brewery, Bob Cajun, Matron Fine Beer, and Wild Lot Distillery already signed up, and more are pouring in every day. And we've also booked our main band, which is Mystic Highway, which is a CCR tribute band. So we're pretty excited about it. And then everything you love about hops is being evolved in 2026 into a new event that we're calling Quinte West Fusion Fest. And it'll be a very similar format to Hops on the Water, but again, evolved. So it won't concentrate specifically on craft brewery sales. It will be still a licensed event, but we'll also include other alcohol providers while keeping a family fun atmosphere. And you can still expect your eclectic mix of food, music, entertainment, and we watch the latest trends for this one and try to highlight those in the festival as well. which leads us to Culture Days. So in the past, we've done Doors Open as an event, and this year tourism is taking on Doors Open to sort of bring it back to more its true purpose. And Nick and I've decided to delve into Culture Days. So we're really excited about this. This is an Ontario-wide program, and this is our first year to engage. The dates run September 19th to October 12th. Nick can tell you a little bit about what we've got planned.
Yeah, absolutely. So the events team is really excited to participate in full capacity with Culture Days for 2025. This is a project that we've been toying with over the last couple of years, coming out of COVID, and now we're excited to be able to deliver it. So just a sneak peek there, we have a couple of partners that we've already engaged with that we're planning on running activities with during the time frame of Culture Days, the Quinte West Public Library and the Trenton Rowing and Paddling Club. We do have a website based, quintewest.ca/Culture Days, where all of our information and then the eventual schedule of what our days and activities will be posted. And we have new organizations reaching out every day looking to get involved in Culture Days, finding out how they can connect to the Quinte West portal and find a way to participate and bring Quinte West kind of back together for what Culture Days really is about in Ontario. So that brings us to the end of our presentation here. So we'd like to thank you for your time. And if there's any questions for any of the topics that we covered here for the economic development, tourism, or events team, we're happy to field them now.
Yeah, Dunk, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I noticed that the price for hops on the water is dropped from $30 to $10. I like that idea. Just curious as to what brought about that change. That feedback or?
Through the chair to you, Councillor Armstrong. Just in discussions that we've had as a team and with the crunch that everybody seems to be feeling to their wallet and whatnot, we've decided for our last year to try and make it a little bit more economical for folks.
Yeah, Joanna?
I just want to ask, continue on that, are you going to still have it at the same place, or are you moving it next year?
So this year will be hosted in the Farmers Market parking lot, but we are in discussions about relocating the Hops Evolved Fusion Fest event.
Somewhere else?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mr. Mayor?
Yeah, thank you very much. I'll go back to a couple of things if it's okay. The weather we're having is not conducive to growing anything, and we're talking about a corn roast, we're talking about so on and so forth. Well, everything isn't growing in Eastern Ontario, and I can tell you that Western Ontario already has corn up, so we'll be okay when it comes to the corn roast. We'll just have to maybe move a little further west to get it, that's all. But Western Ontario has a good quality product, not as good as ours, but that's the way it is, so. And we did have a good day today. Suzanne Andrews would like to tell you about what we opened today.
Yes, we had another business opening today for Shine Supply. It's an existing business that has expanded into having a retail shop. He's also become a provincial-wide distributor for many of the products that he's selling, which come from Italy, and he's also a nationwide distributor for some other products. So just great to see an entrepreneur growing his business and finding new opportunities and sort of taking his business in new directions.
Yeah, thank you. It's great, Suzanne. Can you even give us a number of how many new businesses? I can't even. I know I've been at a good many, and I should have kept a tally at every one I went to, because we've opened how many? Wow.
I mean, I don't know the exact number. I'd say so far this year it has to be over 20, and there's lots more. We're working with Red Swan Pizza, Fathead's Butcher Shop. Like every time you drive down the street, there's a new business opening. So we continue to work with city staff and the DBIA to make sure we welcome all those businesses into Quinte West. We organize their opening for them. I use my communication staff to write up press releases for them. We send them out to local media. The Trentonian's been great about putting that information in the newspaper. So we're doing everything we can to make sure that we're welcoming all those new businesses and those expansions in our city.
Thank you. And of course, the other part of all this is jobs, people have opportunities to get work, and it's great. And somebody did mention earlier about Tomasso's, and I know Michael is here, but I'm just, I'm ignoring Michael. That's okay. But I want you to know, yes, periodically, we send treats to the fire department and the police department. And it's because our first responders are so important and so involved in so many different challenging activities on a regular basis. We don't hear about them, which is, as the detachment commander will tell all of us, the quieter we work, the better it is for all of us. And there are many things going on, but I can tell you that when I send something, I want them to have something they enjoy, something I know they like. And so I know that when I send something from Tomasso's, I don't have to worry about going and getting it because once they hear where it's from, it disappears. So thank you, Michael, also for the support that your family has demonstrated for so many years to this area and to this city, and so many other people that appreciate it. So yes, and he always uses me right. He knows that I don't have much money, so that. But that's, yeah. And I did mention, yes, it's been tough. It's been tough for everybody, this rain that we've had. I can show you a picture of a cow I lost here on the 10th of May. And where she was going to calve, and she went to the very northeast corner of my property where it should be dry. Normally it would be drying up, but because of the rain, the coyotes ran her into the creek, and she was stuck. And I can show you a picture of what's left. There's not much left of her, and that's the joys of too much rain in every way. Yes, we're having problems getting seed in the ground. I can tell you we have some seed, but because of the rain, the seed is on the top of the ground instead of where it should be. So I like the idea of the branding. I really like that. And I can also tell you right now the other thing that's happening to all of us, and this is an update on the beef cattle shortage. You wouldn't know this, but the beef price is going to continue to rise because there just aren't the beef cattle to be had. So what's happening is they're slaughtering Holstein cattle for beef, and Holstein, are made to milk and produce milk, but because of the shortage, they're using those next generation heifers from the Holstein area, and that's impacting all the markets. So there are so many things that affect, and I hope that all of us take a look at, we're a rural community here, and farming is a big part of what we do. Yes, it is. Take a look around and you'll see there are many different aspects of grain storage, grain handling, trains, cars taking, products to Johnstown, east, a lot of, not the Johnstown here, but east Johnstown, Prescott way. So, yeah, a lot of things going on, and we're thankful that we live in the best part of the world. Thank you, Mr. Chair, for all the work you do, and all the staff for putting everything together. Thank you.
All right, thank you. We'll go to correspondence. I don't think there is any, so items for committee's consideration. First is a staff report 25002 CS. Jennifer, go ahead, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. The Quinte West tourism budget includes funds to help attract and support events within the city that will specifically drive tourism visitation and spending. In 2024, $22,500 was distributed in grants to 3 events. 2 of them were angling events, and 1 was the Canada soccer event. This resulted in an estimated 1,300 room nights regionally and $780,000 in visitor spending, according to the province's TRIM model, which is the Tourism Regional Economic Impact calculation. The Tourism Development Fund Subcommittee recently met to review and discuss the grant requests that have been received to date. The funding is available to specific third-party event organizers hosting events within the city to support their efforts to attract larger audiences and create economic impact from the participants. The grant does check several boxes on our city strategic plan, and as well, the City of Quinte West Tourism Development Strategy that we completed in 2021 identifies part of the recommendations as focusing on target customers and anchor staging areas, and working with recreational fishing influencers and advocates to develop sustainable angling opportunities, such as more angling events, improved facilities, local culinary connections, and sponsorship opportunities and amenities at the city's boat launches, which, by the way, are very welcomed by anglers and is a huge attraction for them, what we've completed and done over the last couple of years. The Tourism Development Fund Subcommittee, reviewed the submissions from 2 third-party event organizers and recommends the following funding allotments. Major Fishing League, the MLF Quinte Cup, which will be held August 22nd to the 24th. The Tourism Development Fund Subcommittee recommends granting $10,000. This is in addition to very limited gift-in-kind support as the park space and garbage cans type thing. This event has attracted between 40 and 60 very high-profile anglers to the region to pre-fish for several days prior to the 2-day event, which drives direct spending of accommodations, food, and fuel. The CSFL team hires local people to assist with their security and assistance with their setup and logistics, and the event is promoted at various shows throughout the year, and the weigh-in show is broadcast live. The CSFL provides the staging for the Blair Smith Fishing with Kids event awards presentation, which has proven to be a great partnership in the past. It also stimulates the kind of growth of the industry and appealing to kids and their love of fishing. The Bait Fuel Fishing Tour from June 27th to 29th. The Tourism Development Fund Subcommittee recommends granting $3,500. The Bait Fuel event attracts approximately 100 participants. This year they have grown their offering to a 2-day event, which will attract some additional overnight stays within the region. It will make good use of our facility and amenities and provide exposure to the angling community. Food vendors, specifically Barbacoa Boys from the pop-ups, have benefited from this relationship as they cater the angling meeting held on the Friday night prior to the event. These funds fall under the approved 2025 tourism operating budget in the Tourism Development Fund. $40,000 has been allocated to these grants within the budget. So with that, I would like to recommend, just looking for my recommendation, sorry. What did I do? Oh, here it is, sorry. I would like to recommend that the Economic Development, Tourism, and Special Events Advisory Committee receive this report and recommendations of the Tourism Development Fund Grant Subcommittee. And further, that the committee recommends to Council that the Tourism Development Fund grants to third-party events be approved.
Can I have a mover and a seconder to get it on the floor? Mayor and Rosie, any questions or discussion?
How much money is in this tourism pot? 40,000, I thought I read, something like that?
That's correct.
Yeah, 40,000. So it's going to be 10,000 to the first one and then 5,000 to the 3,500 to the second one?
Correct.
So Kiwanis does the walleye event, right? And we don't fund them at all. They do it all on their own. So this is sort of an additional fishing, 2 fishing events on top of the walleye?
The city does support the Walleye World, maybe not financially through this fund, but they do support the Walleye World tournament in other ways.
In other ways, yeah. But okay, so this is in addition to those two. I have no problem with that because I think fishing is a big thing here. But, so I just wanted to. Okay, so then, have there been any other applications?
No, not to date. And this is the reason why for the policy and that kind of thing, which will be going forward later. To kind of evolve that into, we used to have other programs like the Trent Scottish Irish Festival and the Rib Fest that were annual contributors to this. So there's never really been a policy behind who's, going to be granted this money and that kind of thing. So what we're doing is creating an application process where they will actually apply, tell us what they're doing, and then we will score those applications according to the tourism value of it. And then they'll be granted the money and they'll follow up with us on how they did and that kind of thing for future years.
So you're saying there's 40,000, but don't we make a lot of money on the taxes that we charge the accommodations? Like, don't we have a lot of pot of money there just for tourism?
For the MAT tax, the municipal accommodation tax? Yes, that is for projects. For example, our tourism development strategy wayfinding strategy, that is being funded through that. A lot of our pop-ups programming, pop-ups infrastructure was paid for from the MAT tax. So there's been bigger projects, and potentially, our tourism wayfinding signage development might need to come from that. We also have some funds committed to that for the tourism community improvement plan that's going forward. So this is just a different set of money, pot of money, that's been set aside for specific tourism events.
Coming out of the MAT tax group? Or
No, this is not
completely
coming out of the
different?
MAT tax. This is operational funds.
Oh, okay.
This money.
And you do this every year, don't you?
Yes, well, we have since, I don't know if it was in this report, but since, I think when we started transitioning Trent Scottish Irish Festival, 2016 maybe, and the Rib Fest came on board and these fishing events were coming around, that's when it started. So it was kind of an informal process at that point. But
So since you only got 2 applications, are you considering a different way of marketing this particular,
Correct, that's what the policy is going to come forward, and it will be
you're gonna
developed through
forward
that. Now, if we do, like, we have had different events that have come out or forward in the past, like, there was a very large provincial baseball tournament that came up, and it, through the summer, we heard about that, and so we did support that. We have supported different hockey events that have come up through that. So there is a little bit of money that we can use. If an event presents itself to us, we also have used a bit of the money in the past for our, to help transition our holiday market that we've done, and provide different aspects of that event, as we had a shortfall in the budget.
Okay, thank you.
Not seeing any other questions, or are there? Nothing online? All in favor? That's carried, thank you. Moving on to resources, so we'll start with QEDC, please.
Thank you. I know time's getting late, so I'll go quickly, but I just want to highlight a couple programs. Last meeting I was at, we talked about the Skills Development Fund and our training rebates. We've been supporting manufacturers as they invest in their workforce with transferable, portable skills, and we've been giving the rebate checks are coming out now, so as they do their paperwork and give us their proof of payment, we're able to rebate companies. So, most recently, Quinte Custom Foods, Kruger, Electrocables, NOD have all received training rebates. And then I think the Friday before the long weekend, I had Mayor Harrison out to give a pretty big check to FDF Race Shop, which did a lot of training at their location, and they're doing really well. So we did that one in person, and again, with the mail strike, we wanted to make sure they got those checks. So I think when in this region, and over 1,000 employees we're at now. I think last time I reported it'd be around 500, but when all is said and done, over 1,000 employees received skills upgrading, and over $600,000 flowed back to those manufacturers to support the investment in their people. And these are funds that most communities don't get. We have to work hard to apply to the province and say, here's what we need in this community, and we get that, and those dollars go right back to our manufacturers. I want to just touch on an event with Skills Ontario called the Trades and Technology Truck. You recall last year we partnered with the City of Quinte West. We brought the truck to Quinte West, and that was the first time it's been in this region, and it was really successful. This year it came to Belleville. 2 Quinte West schools were part of that, and the goal is to get the kids to these trucks where they're able to try out different trades and technologies. So there's a virtual welder, there's a virtual excavator, and they could run that with the screens and the joysticks and things. There's painting, changing tires, so all the tools are there, and they get to try out and be exposed to these trades. And then we took them to several manufacturers and businesses to check out those skilled trades and technologies that work in the manufacturing environment. Really good. We had over 150 kids each day, so 100 high school kids and about 50 elementary school kids on 2 days, and a real good turnout. We also did an open house. So Quinte West was the first ones to do it, was really successful. Belleville did it this year. Next year, talking to Linda and team, we want to bring it back to Quinte West, and I know Linda already has some really good ideas in terms of where we could put the skills trucks. So I think the goal is, let's rotate it between the 2 communities. When we have it at one, doesn't mean schools from others can't participate, but I think to share it between the 2 seems to work out really well, and that's kind of our goal. And Yeah, and Mayor Harrison, Haley McKay, who was the driver of one of the trucks with Skills Ontario, wanted to say hi, so she was here a couple weeks ago, so she remembers you from last time, if you recall. Yeah. Yeah, and they took a leadership program, I think, together, yeah, so it's a good program, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, she was awesome. So again, I think it's part of that overall strategy in terms of workforce development. You know, you heard Doug's presentation on, matching employers with employees. This is about encouraging young people to consider those manufacturing careers and technology and trades careers as they're considering where they're going to go to school. And a lot of the times the kids, when they're out at the employers, would say, what do they make here? And they were really surprised at the level of income that some of these tradespeople make. So it was a real good day to open up the eyes for a lot of kids around that. And again, hopefully next year, we'll be doing this next spring in Quinte West. And it was really good. I also want to share with you, we did a lot of outreach earlier on in the year around tariffs, and we specifically just for the manufacturing sector. I know Quinte West did a more broad-based program, so we want to talk to a lot of the manufacturers to, number one, understand their exposure risk to the tariffs from the United States, and then also some of the strategies they're looking at to overcome tariffs. So we have a pretty good report that's kind of help us guide us as we're looking to support our manufacturers and what support they need. Obviously, it changes on a not even a daily basis sometimes. Sometimes it's hourly in terms of what's happening on tariffs. But we have a good handle in terms of what it means to our manufacturers. And there are a lot of strong manufacturers that export in this region all across the world, and the U.S. is our biggest market. I talked to one manufacturer that's in Quinte West. 95% of their sales are export out of Canada. And so we have pretty cool companies that are making stuff here, selling it outside the area. And for us, it's just to get a handle on what was happening. If anyone wants copies, we have that report here as well. And again, we'll be utilizing that as there's new programs coming up from the province and the federal government to say, hey, we know what our manufacturers need, and now we can look to support them. And then the last piece that's kind of not related to Quinte economic development. So obviously, we're looking at the industrial side, and I sent an email out to Linda and I think Mike and Lisa and Suzanne recently just about the old City Hall clock tower that's downtown Trenton. I just noted that it's up for sale. I also know it's an eyesore. I was at the Remembrance Day ceremony this year, and you stand back and you look at the back of that parking lot garage. It's a disaster, and that clock tower is a heritage building. And so my kind of thought is, we should just maybe think about what kind of strategies can the city do, if anything. Maybe there's nothing we could do to, keep that showcase feature in our community and encourage, the right owner to come in to take that over. And I think about what the Kotzebos did with their block, or what Dwayne Gray did across at the Sailor building there. There's pretty cool stuff happening. But maybe we should just think about that as well, because it is a showpiece. And it's, when you look at the Quinte West advertising, a lot of times that clock tower is featured in it. And I'd love to see that whole thing supported. So again, that's not a QEDC thing. I look at the industrial side, but I live in Quinte West too, and I'd love to see something happen with that. So I'll just throw that out there. Not that we need to do anything about it, but it's just my own personal opinion on that. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Yes, Joanna, question for Chris?
Yeah, sorry, Chris, it's not for you directly, but it's to do with what you just said. What was the intake with the facade improvement project that you sent out to everybody?
Through the chair to committee member Joanna, we received about 10 applications for the program, so we're just reviewing those now. And some will go to council for consideration, and others will have delegated authority. So again, we'll have another intake in the fall. So there was, as part of the program, intake for spring and one in the fall. So that's how many we received, but we'll be definitely actively promoting the program over the summer for the fall intake as well.
So were you happy with the response that you got? And Will it make a difference?
Yes, we were happy with that response, given it was new and we had just launched it in February. So but there's definitely lots of opportunities for future submissions, and we were happy. Some of them were pretty detailed, significant investments. It's really, we're looking for businesses that are contributing 50% plus into the infrastructure of their properties.
Yeah, because that'll make a difference in the look and everything of downtown.
Definitely.
Suzanne?
Through you, Mr. Chair. Just a couple of quick updates. As you know, we hosted the Bay of Quinte Home Show in April in partnership with the Trenton Kiwanis Club. We did have close to 100 vendors this year, most of them from within the Quinte region. We had just over 1,600 people through the show. Looking at the stats from that, we had 850 of those 1,600 were from Quinte West, and the rest were from outside of Quinte West. So it definitely draws in, 600 to 800 people from outside our community here to do business with our local vendors, so we're very happy with that turnout. Also, LeaderCast was held on May 8th. Thank you to the city for their contribution as our major sponsor of that event. We had close to 70 people there with some great speakers and focusing on leadership and how people could take that back to their own workplaces and leave a legacy behind on building that legacy for people as they move through their careers. And the third event I wanted to just give you an update on is on Friday, June 27th. We're going to be having a luncheon featuring the wing commander, Colonel Bowser. It's going to be at the 413 Wing RCAF building once again. We're going to be focusing on, obviously, operations at the base, but also on the $1 billion worth of construction that is going to be coming down the pipe. They're working on having somebody come from Ottawa as well, from Construction Canada, to talk about how local businesses can make sure that they are eligible and on the list to get contracts or subcontracts as part of that huge build that's happening. The other thing I wanted to let you know about, obviously with our new election, there's lots going on. And the chamber, we'll be doing it as well. There's been letters sent to all of the new ministers talking about business issues. So we're going to be amplifying that out throughout the business community, making sure that we're consulting with them about the issues, getting feedback from them, and sending that to Ottawa to make sure that this new government understands the impacts of their decisions on local businesses, and just make sure that the new ministers all understand that, business issues are everybody's issues. After saying that too, I wanted to also mention that the Canadian Chamber of Commerce is celebrating their 100th anniversary this year. And later on this year, in November, the Quinte West Chamber of Commerce will be celebrating our 75th anniversary since we were incorporated in 1950. And if I can just switch hats for a second, the Trenton Rowing and Paddling Club will be opening next Wednesday for the season, and we'll have rentals and equipment available for residents. And also, we are bringing back the Dragon Boat Festival, which will be held in conjunction with the Downtown Festival on the Bay. That's it.
Thank you. Lisa, you're up.
We have a new event happening downtown Trenton that begins this coming Sunday and runs through to the following Saturday, called Rediscover Your Downtown. In hopes it will bring people downtown to discover new businesses that have opened in the last year and rediscover some of the older businesses and what they have to offer. Some of them have expanded their business or brought in new lines or created new personal experiences for people. We are gearing up for the festival on the Bay, and we have had a big interest in vendor participation this year. Mark Phillips will be organizing our fireworks again. The Dragon Boat races will be back, along with the Kinsman Pancake Breakfast. Since our last meeting, we have had quite a few new businesses open up in the downtown area. The Bark Spot, Dog Grooming, Bell Medispa, Care Connect, Psychotherapy, the Film .ca Center Cinemas, Life for Today Travel, mental health business, Onboard Grazing and Charcuterie, Radiant Flow, and Cafe A Play are just a few of them that have opened up since our last meeting. And that's all I have for you.
So we'll move on to new business. Dunk, we'll start with you. Nothing? Ed? No? Joanna?
It's not new, but I know that the last minutes said that we were going to have a presentation, not that I want another presentation, but on the Parks and Recreation, the new plan that's come out. I have had the opportunity to read it, so it's not that I needed that, but I just kind of wanted to know what the response on that, what are people thinking about this new plan, the Parks and Recreation plan?
Yes, go ahead.
Thank you, through Mr. Chair, to Joanna. Yes, we did bring forward the Parks and Recreation Master Plan, the 15-year plan, to Council for approval. It was presented by our consultant, Think Design, in cooperation with staff. Certainly, a lot of engagement went into that project, and has generally been well received, as much as master plans get well received. I think the parts of the plan that will be better received is when we start to implement the various recommendations. So 149 recommendations to cover the next 15 years. So the plan really broke down areas of investment for recreation service provision, facility upgrades, improvements, and new features and attractions in some cases. And those have been identified to occur in short, medium, and long term, just so that the city can work forward and incorporate, the appropriate budgets at the appropriate intervals to make sure that we stay on track to meet all those recommendations.
Good.
Thank you. Zach, anything on? No? Rosie? Go ahead.
Yeah, it's just a question that I didn't want to ask when the consultant was here because it got a little drawn on. But Jennifer, around the signage, I know when we brought in the signs that we currently have, it was shortly after amalgamation and everything was all about branding everything as Quinte West. Is there any work going into identifying the 4 wards by either some kind of color or symbol on the signs? I mean, especially now that we're doing ward parties and such, and I'm learning about the different wards, because when I moved back to this area, it was right after amalgamation, and so I just wondered if that was being considered at all, because she really kind of downplayed your tourism routes going from the Discovery Guide into signage, that it would be too much. But I think when we go to different areas, at least I do, I always follow different routes that are identified by signage to discover things.
I think the route comment came, sorry, through you, Mr. Chair, to Rosie. I think the route change or signage conversation centered around just so many different routes, like the Apple route, for example, which used to be there, and it took us forever to figure out how to get those signs down after the organization disbanded. The same with the Hastings County Arts and Taste Trail, the Taste Trail. We've been asking and trying to get those down for several years now. So to put those up and then have to be responsible for them and to take them all down again, depending on what the route is, it does get fairly complicated. So I don't know that we didn't really discuss wards within that. I do know, for example, when we did do the last strategy and all of the wards, basically not wards, sorry, but all of the smaller communities are identified, like Stockdale and Wallbridge and those ones. So I know our wards are kind of complicated, especially when it comes to Sydney, because it kind of cuts into different places and, Frankfurt is all around it and that kind of thing. So I don't know if that gets complicated. I mean, there's so many entry points to all of those different wards that, no, I don't think any thought has been given to that at this point. I can take back that information, though, for consideration, but no, I can honestly say that it hasn't come to fruition at this point.
Mr. Chairman. There are a couple of things. I'd like to put a motion on the table, and I don't feel it's right that I do it, and that's to suggest council consider purchasing the former city hall. Maybe somebody else should do it. Doesn't look good coming from me, but I need a seconder anyway, so.
Where's the former city hall? It's Clock Tower. Oh, it's I can't either. I agree with the idea,
I'll make the motion.
Good,
Okay.
thank you.
Rosie, will make that motion. Any
As a
seconders?
member of the committee, that the committee recommends to
Yes,
council that
yes.
we can.
And
We
Zach-
explore, yes.
Zach's got a
Yes,
comment.
Zach will second.
Yeah, I'm happy to second.
Okay. All in favor? Okay, that's carried. Thank you.
Okay, one more point I'd like to mention is that Deer Haven has been sold. That's the John Deere dealership. It's been sold to Premier Tractor. Premier Tractor owns the majority of John Deere dealerships in the province of Ontario. So it's not going anyplace, but it's been sold, and the other parts of it, the Polaris and so on, I think Kenny Morton's going to carry that on himself, I think. Anyways, it's a big business. It's a very important business to the farmers, and it's a very important business to the city of Quinte West. You know, a lot of people come here because of that Loyalist Road and what's going on there. So, thank you, Mr. Chair.
Okay. Thank you. Just a few housekeeping items for myself, please. Just to note that the agenda can possibly come out prior to the 2 days that it did this week, just for staff and for committee members, should they have any questions. Secondly, if staff could please reach out to members of this committee that perhaps are lacking in attendance and just remind them of the terms of reference, and should they no longer wish to participate, it won't impact our quorum, because your time is valuable, and we have people that don't all live right in Trenton, so they're traveling. And then lastly, some of our staff members, and I was able to attend the Teeny Tiny Summit. I don't know if any staff members had any key takeaways or anything they'd like to share at this time? No. No? Okay, well, I'll just leave, nothing, anyway, it was engaging. Just the one quote I guess I can leave you on. He stressed the importance of volunteers and that we shouldn't take them for granted, and he mentioned Noah's Ark was built by volunteers and the Titanic was built by professionals, so.
Okay.
I'll leave you with that. Thank you, and then any two for adjournment, and thank you all that attended today. Thank you.